Good evening and welcome to Electronic Game Information. We're reporting to you live from the streets of the very famous Tokyo, Japan, and we are bringing you the latest breaking news and updates from this year's upcoming Tokyo Game Show. Here are some headlines from the Tokyo Game Show. The Death Stranding ladder is still looking like it's going to be quite a ride. I just can't wait to climb that weird ladder. Alan, are you there? Alan?
Yes, Robby,
Alan,
I can hear you.
Alan, I noticed that you're wearing the neck brace.
Right, yes, I do have to wear this. I tried to take it off because I knew you didn't want me to wear it, and it did hurt my neck quite a bit. My doctor said I could cause permanent damage, so I do have to wear this, but I am sorry.
Alan, I have a friend who's a doctor, and he said that you could probably take it off. So I'm just kind of curious as to what the decision-making process is there. This is it's a big visual element at this point to see the neck brace.
I understand where you're coming from. I think I wish I could listen to you and what your friend said, but I think I'm going to have to go with my gut here, and my neck hurts bad, and my doctor told me not to, so I'm just going to... Let's just talk about the Death Stranding ladder.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to just talk about the ladder. Alan, are you excited about climbing the ladder? Are you excited about Death Stranding?
Yes, I'm very... Robby, I can hear you, and I am so excited about the Death Stranding ladder. How fun is that? How cool is that? It's a big ladder. It's not like a normal ladder that you'd get onto with you'd use for a house, but you could...
Alan, it goes in the backpack. You can use it. It looks like you can use it to if you get to a hill that's too steep, or perhaps there's a ravine that you need to cross. You can just take the ladder out and use that to cross those environmental obstacles.
Yeah, I wish I had a Death Stranding ladder in my backpack. I'd use it to climb up one of those trees and impress all the people of Tokyo, Japan.
That's wonderful. Alan, I understand that you have a haiku about the ladder that you are going to read tonight.
That is right. Okay, here's the haiku. Climb high and reach cliffs.
How many syllables is that?
Climb high and reach cliffs. It's about 5.
So it's 5 syllables.
Okay,
Great.
Next part. Climb high and reach cliffs. Hidden upgrade materials.
Let's get the syllable count on those hidden upgrade materials.
You're gonna have to do that for me. You're the syllable expert.
Hidden upgrade material.
Materials is 2 syllables.
So that's 7. That's 7 syllables.
I'm gonna move on.
All right, let's bring it home, Alan.
Is baby a gun?
I wrote that.
That's right. You wrote this.
I did, and I did write that, and I just needed to hear it in someone else's voice. Number one rule about writing poetry, Alan, or just about anything else, it's important to hear it in someone else's voice before you kind of push it out into the world. So we got the syllable count right. The haiku is locked in. Thank you. Let's turn to my Nintendo eShop wish list. Now, there are a number of games that are on there that I think that are overpriced. That leads into our newest EGI segment. How much does the game cost versus how much am I willing to spend on it? Also known by its initials, H.M.D.T.G.C.Vs. is in versus, not VS. And H.M.A.I.W.T.S.O.I. And during this new segment, I will name a game on my eShop wish list, say how much I'm willing to pay, say how much it normally costs, why that cost is incorrect, and then say how much I'm willing to pay for it and why. To keep everyone informed, we will be doing this every night of our Tokyo Game Show coverage. Tonight's game, which I would gladly purchase and play if it was priced more competitively, was priced too high by the publishers and in some cases the developers too. Again, we will be doing 1 game a week every night from beautiful downtown Tokyo, Japan. So this is a new segment. It's completely new. It's exclusive. No one else is talking about this. No one else is reporting on my Nintendo eShop wish list. And just so we're clear, this is the eShop for the Nintendo Switch. I do have separate wish lists for my new Nintendo 3DS XL and my Wii U, but we won't be covering those wish lists because the situation there is far more complex. It's just the Switch eShop wish list for now. So the game tonight I would like to talk about is Turok 2. Turok 2 is priced at $19.99 on the Nintendo eShop for the Switch. I think this is too much for Turok 2. Not only is it too much for Turok 2, but this particular version of Turok 2 is missing a key component, the Turok 2 multiplayer, which if you were a big fan of Turok 2 back when it originally came out, and you had friends who were willing to spend a few hours with you playing Turok 2 multiplayer after school or on a Saturday. Some people probably played it on a Sunday, and that was their decision to make. And you know, that's just what we like to call their decision. What the removal of the Turok 2 split-screen multiplayer means is that the Switch players are denied one of the key components that make this classic game the classic it is. And what better way to spend more time with the famous weapons of Turok 2 like the Cerebral Bore and the less famous but still deadly Scorpion Launcher. Weapons, these are a 4-player deathmatch, team deathmatch, and capture the flag mode, all these wonderful playgrounds. All these good-natured, fun, chaos, and carnage playgrounds are not available to Nintendo Switch owners for $19.99. So let's take a step back for a moment and talk about Night Dive Studios. Night Dive Studios, I got a lot of respect for them. The remastered ports they've made for games like Turok 1, Harvester, I Have No Mouth and Must Scream, System Shock 2, Blood. All these games have brought me a lot of joy, brought me back to a lot of great memories, and proved that great game design and art design endures despite aging graphics engines. And here's hoping that they come back with remasters of Heretic, Hexen 2, the Quake 2 engine masterpiece Kingpin. But the real issue here is that they priced the Nintendo Switch version of Turok 2 too high. It's the same price as the PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 versions that include the multiplayer. $19.99. I'm unwilling to pay $19.99 for Turok 2 for the Nintendo Switch. So unless they plan on releasing a patch that includes the multiplayer, or somewhere down the line they release some sort of multiplayer-focused Turok game like Turok Rage Wars with a special coupon for those of us who already bought Turok 2 and or Turok 1 on the Nintendo Switch. I just can't spend... I can't spend, obviously, all of Tokyo Game Show 2019 talking about coupons that don't exist. The current base price of Turok 2 is, of course, $19.99, much more than I'm willing to pay. This price doubly stings because when they put it out, the Doom and Doom 2 and Doom 3 on the Switch eShop during this year's QuakeCon, those were priced very reasonably at $4.99, $4.99, and $9.99 respectively. That's 3 sizable historic games for a very reasonable price. Doom includes, of course, the additional Ultimate Doom levels. Doom 2 includes the Master levels, and Doom 3 includes the expansion Resurrection of Evil, and, of course, the Lost Missions. These 3 games are packed with a generous amount of content, extra content costing just as much in a bundle. That's 3 games in a bundle, $4.99, $4.99, $9.99 in a bundle, as Turok 1 or Turok 2 costs individually. And now they're telling me that I have to pay $19.99 for an incomplete version of Turok 2 when both Doom and Doom 2 have local split-screen multiplayer. Something does smell fishy, and as the saying goes, it's not just the fish. Alan, what do you think? You're the Turok 2 expert. What's the smell?
What are you asking?
Asking Alan, we got the problem that $19.99 for Turok 2 without the multiplayer, but at the same time you can get Doom, Doom 2, and Doom 3, all of the expanded versions of those 3 games at the same price collected together as Turok 2 is incomplete.
Okay.
This is a question.
The question, I just think it's a game like Turok. Turok 2 is one of those old games from the past where people who made it didn't really know what they were doing back then, but we've learned from our mistakes, and now games are much more beautiful. It's kind of the difference between a cave painting and maybe something from the Renaissance and an oil painting, and we've learned from our mistakes, and we look back and we think how silly we had been.
Well, if you think about those cave paintings, Alan, those cave paintings are classic paintings. Everyone thinks about the cave paintings. They go back, they go inside the caves, they see the paintings, and they marvel at, like, good design is good design. For as long as humans have been alive, we have been creating pieces of art or works or pieces of infrastructure or just pieces of culture that just don't seem to age.
Yeah, absolutely. Board games from the 90s, old kind of games like that, they're maybe free on iPhone, and you don't pay more than a couple 50 cents or $1.
All right, well, thank you for your call, Alan. For this version of Turok 2, I am willing to pay $7.99. So for this version of Turok 2, I am willing to pay $7.99. Night Dive Studios, please mark Turok 2 down to $7.99, and you've got yourself a sale. So let's put it up there. You've got yourself a sale. You've got yourself a sale. Turok 2, $7.99. Thank you so much. Moving on, if there's one thing I do know about Tokyo Game Show, it's that people here are just as excited for the old games as they are for the new ones, and that's why we here at EGI are bringing you an exclusive look back at Robotech Battle Cry for the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and original Xbox. And what better way to follow up a look at Robotech Battle Cry than with a video of Robotech Battle Cry. So this is Robotech Battle Cry. It's running on the Dolphin emulator, the GameCube Dolphin emulator. Alan, I don't know if you're if you can hear me or if you can see this, but this is just a remarkable cel-shaded action game where you can transform from your jet fighter into a Battleoid or whatever this thing is. It's I believe it is called a. It's not a Battleoid. It's not a Veritech. It is a Veritech fighter. It's just in a. It's obviously having a great time. You can see all the wonderful little animation. It's just moving ever so slightly, and then shooting just a maelstrom of missions. It's called a jet fighter. Is in Guardian mode, Alan. Guardian mode jet fighter of the Veritech fighter. Just Robotech Battle Cry. This is a look back. This is an EGI exclusive. No one else is talking about this at Tokyo Game Show. What better way to follow up Robotech Battle Cry than with an exclusive look back at the lesser-known Robotech Invasion? So this is... If you find a new weapon you want, just hold the action button while standing near it. You know, all these brand new games coming out, and we do forget... Ever so. Reload manually with the reload button if you want, but your weapon will automatically reload if you try to fire when the clip's empty. So you probably are following along pretty. So we see a lot of. It's Robotech Invasion. You got to be careful. All right, so that was Robotech Invasion. A look back at Robotech Battle Cry and Robotech Invasion. Alan, what did you think of that?
I don't know what that was exactly, but it was a beautiful vision of something strange and weird and all over the place, kind of bonkers. It was like it was kind of like jazz music if jazz music was a video game that was old and didn't look good.
Alan, Robotech, of course, Alan, you're the Robotech expert, but you know, it's funny to me because you always struck me as more of a Macross fan.
I'm not an expert on any of those things. I actually don't know what you're talking about. I'm just so happy to be in Tokyo, Japan.
Well, let's go to the
Robby.
phones, Alan. Let's go to the phones and just check out what people are saying about the Robotech Battle Cry and Robotech Invasion for the original Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube, except for the Invasion wasn't on the GameCube. Hi, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. It's Tokyo Game Show 2019. It's our lead up to Tokyo Game Show 2019. What's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about something. You talked for a lot of the beginning of this stream about prices and how frustrated you were. And on Twitter, I see you've been asking all your friends for 100 eShop gift card, which does not exist.
That's a private account. I don't publicize any of my requests for $100 eShop credit. Since we are talking about it, it would be a wonderful day if my friends would band together and get me $100 eShop credit, and I would probably use it to I would buy these games at full price.
Well, Robby, that's it's just not going to happen because it doesn't exist. The 100, you can get a 99. Cricket even put it in her cart on Amazon, and she was going to get it for you. And frankly, I think it's really rude that you decline that offer.
Well, Cricket, of course, is a friend of the show. She's got a lot going on in her life. She's a go-getter. She knows what she wants. Unfortunately, she was trying to get me a $99 eShop credit, and what I wanted was $100. So I understand it's just a dollar. It's just a dollar is what the question is, unless I'm hearing you incorrectly. And I understand that it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're asking for something specific and someone just tries to give you something that's kind of off the mark, it makes it a little hard to stomach. But thank you for your call. Happy Tokyo Game Show.
Problem.
Go back and figure out what it is that you want that maybe people aren't getting you exactly what you want. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. This Tokyo Game Show 2019 coverage. We have 2 more weeks before the game show actually opens. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Robby? I actually had a little question for you. I noticed on your website on RobbyRackleff.com, it's got like 3 links. I think one of them's your Twitter, one of them's like a YouTube page, and the third one is a list of every video game you've ever played and beaten. But the last time you updated that was like 2014.
2014, I believe the last game I put on there was Betrayer for the PC. Yeah. So I obviously have not. I obviously have not been updating the list quite as often as I had been for many years. There has been a number of significant games that I've played since Betrayer. I don't want you to be under the impression that I have not been playing games since Betrayer came out. Although I will say that that Betrayer is one of those games that if you have not given it a chance, you really should, because it's a strange and wonderful game.
All right. Are you gonna update that list anytime soon? Because I know you've got like over a couple hundred on there. I'm kind of curious to see.
Well, yeah, there's probably I think 600 or 700 games on there currently. So multiply that by 5 years and divide by, because there's many years where you're doing something different. Then because when you had a childhood and then you have the adulthood that comes after that, and then there's those intervening years where not a lot of things happen.
Yeah, so it's not an exact equation because you're not playing the same rate of video games all the time.
Well, that's the thing with equations. There is never really an exact equation. But thank you for your call. We've got time for one more call. You're on the phone you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. We are talking about Tokyo Game Show, things that are on your mind, games that you might have been thinking about. Just let's hear you.
So I was watching and I saw what you have on the screen, and it looked like the Robotech game, and I was wondering if that was like the same in-game engine as the new PlayStation virtual reality Spider-Man game, because the city textures in that look like very similar.
Well, that's an interesting question. I doubt that it is the same game engine, but as you can see, game engines can be built upon multiple times. If you look at the iterations of something like the Unreal Engine or the Unity engine, those kind of start out looking mighty primitive, but slowly step up as they get further along. So, although the TDK Interactive was the publisher, and I'm sure that the Take-Two had something to do with it as well. Those people that's a big company, it's a big corporation that could have also had something to do with people that worked at Insomniac Games. And so, people steal is what I'm trying to say. People steal ideas, people steal tech, and they move on to different companies. We've the whole thing with the Uber employee stealing the idea for cars from Google.
Yeah, that all seems very possible to me, and I just wanted to get some eyes on it. So
well, it's a fascinating thought. Let's keep moving it on. We have a break coming up, and we'll be right back. Thank you for your call. Welcome back. We have our our ongoing segment. It's the arts. This is where we take a look at the art that you guys have sent us, fan art, electronic game information related art. Here we go. We have our first piece right here. This is from Laurel Lynn Leak. This is a beautiful drawing of me from last year's E3. That's E3 2018. When it was the first EGI E3 2018 coverage, and here I am, just kind of just having a great time, just looking for all of the wonderful games and all of the news coming out of E3 2018. Thank you so much for that. And we actually have another drawing from Laurel Lynn Leak. This is me describing the circle of trust, which of course has been an ongoing theme in the show. When all things appear to be lost, when all hell breaks loose, you know that you have the circle of trust around you. You have the friends that keep you going. You have the family that you can talk to. Hopefully, you can reach out if you're feeling bad. Obviously, not during the show, because that would disrupt sort of the flow of information that we try to keep going. But the circle of trust is there. You guys are in it. And we are always building it, we are reinforcing it, and we are tweaking it. This is a wonderful drawing from Gabriella Crossbow. Gabriella is a wonderful artist. She has made a beautiful Select and Alan kind of character selection screen here. You can see Alan. Do you see this?
Can I? Yes. Wow, is that me?
That's you, Alan. This is you with your Tokyo Game Show 2018 outfit on, and you look a little different this year, don't you?
Yeah, it has so many wonderful memories, and every day is a gift, and hopefully many more outfits to come.
Hopefully we lose the neck brace though next. And here's a Game of the Year 2018. Alan, of course, is Alan with an eye patch. He's looking mighty fine. He's got the tuxedo on. It's the 2018 Game of the Year Awards. Alan, do you remember what our Game of the Year 2018 was?
I think it was Red Dead Redemption 2.
No, it was Dead Cells. Okay, someone needs to catch up on EGI. So E3 2019 comes up. There's Alan as Tingle. It was a controversial choice, but as you can see, the fans love it. So, here's another. It's not a drawing. It's a kind of Alan, what do you call this thing?
That's like a Renaissance oil painting. It's a beautiful painting.
It's a beautiful painting, but it does seem like they have changed aspects of it to make the costume in it look more like the Tingle costume from your E3 2019 Tingle costume.
Yeah, I guess so.
So you're looking, it's a beautiful painting of Alan. I've never seen Alan depicted quite this way. It would be lovely to see an oil painting of me, but we have an oil painting of Alan. So here's another picture of Alan. Alan,
can I see that?
This is just a picture of you taking a bath, I guess. I'm surprised. You, as an adult, you still take baths, but you do what you got to do. We move on to this is a wonderful. I'm sorry, and that was the painting was submitted by James Trevor, of course, friend of the show, James Trevor. A shout out to good friend of the show, James Trevor, and Matt. Let's just say his name is Matt. Made the bath painting.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt, for that. I don't think about Alan taking a bath, but Wish You Were Here. Wish You Were Here is a wonderful drawing from Nacho Cheese. Nacho Cheese is, of course, the famous artist who drew this picture for Electronic Game Information's Tokyo Game Show 2019 coverage. It is a drawing of Scorpion at the nude beach. Alan, do you remember the nude beach sketch?
It was, yes.
What? You remember what Scorpion said about the nude beach? He said, "I don't know what will happen," and maybe this Wish You Were Here. It doesn't matter what happens. It's just Scorpion's happy. He got what he wanted. We didn't get everything we wanted out of that experience, but I'm just happy that you're here, Alan. You're looking good.
Thank you.
The neck brace is something that will go away eventually, and we'll just we'll move on from there.
Okay, it's a blessing in disguise.
It's a blessing in disguise. It's It's another drawing. I didn't really, this is a drawing that has a bunch of text on it. I'll just go ahead and read the text. I really didn't have time to draw anything big today, so I drew this at work. I hope you can still show it. I love the show, and I love the games, and that is from Rila, and Rila has drawn this at work. It's drawing all over Alan, and there's also a picture of me. It's me and Alan. And Alan, why are you looking so down? These are beautiful drawings. You just gotta perk yourself up. What's the deal?
Nothing. I'm happy. The fresh air of Tokyo, Japan is giving me a whole new lease on life, and I just am so happy that so many people love you and love EGI and love me and draw pictures of me and send them to you.
They draw pictures of you, Alan. They draw pictures of you in the bath. I think that's a bit of an invasive experience, but everybody has their. Everyone has their thing that gets them up in the morning. Here's another beautiful drawing. It's Chloe Chone. Chloe Chone has, of course, made a drawing of one of the video poems from last year's E3 coverage. My dreams are no longer at war with reality. And what a sentiment. I mean, it's coming out of the same mouth that wrote the words. But, Alan, if you could just say, my dreams are no longer at war with reality, maybe I could see you smile again.
My dreams are no longer at war with reality.
Absolutely, Alan. And here's a picture. I love you, Robby. I love you too, Alan. And this is a picture that proves it right here. It's a picture of me and you hugging at sort of a ultimate moment in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. A moment that brought two warring ninja clans together in an unexpected way and changed the course of history.
Yes. That whole day was a bit of a blur, but I do remember being hugged by you as a highlight of the day.
All right, and that, of course, was from friend of the show, Mystic Pizzuti. So thank you, Misty Pizzuti. And here is a drawing from Gale Bagel or Starstorm. It's a drawing of.
What is that?
It's a drawing of.
Can I see that?
I'm turning it. The light's catching it in a funny way, but here it comes.
You're the best.
There it is. You're the best, Robby. That's me. That's my name. And I'm holding onto the script. I'm looking kind of hot. Kind of like I get in the studio sometimes when they turn the air conditioning off and all the studio lights and all the computers are running at full blast, trying to give everybody the experience of hearing the Tokyo Game Show news as it's coming off the wire, hot off the wire. Just like I'm hot in the studio.
Robby.
Yes, Alan.
You are the best.
Alan, you're the best. And, I see you there, and I see you in front of those wonderful cherry blossoms, and with all the beautiful people of Tokyo, Japan, just waving back at you in their own way. I'm sure it's a cultural thing that you're kind of, be careful because you don't want to offend anybody, obviously.
No, people like
we're
it.
New here,
Hi.
we're guests.
Hello.
They're with their kids, and you're a strange guy.
No, I'm just so happy to be in Tokyo, Japan.
Well, we're happy to have you in Tokyo, Japan. We have time for another quick drawing. This is a strange, kind of a funny joke that somebody's trying to play, where you got this.
Robby. Let's move on.
This is from Mr. Ilum.
No.
Mr. Ilum sent
you don't need
in.
to. You don't need to say their name. Just
move
on.
Move on. No, I think you just face what you have, and you just take a closer look, and just remember that people will find ways to needle you here and there, but you're bigger than that. You're bigger than this. So let's move on to the letters. We have a new segment, of course. It's called "It's the Letters." First we had "It's the Arts," where we showed the arts, and now we have "It's the Letters," where we answer your questions. We do have a lot of fans who are out of the country or just plain shy, don't get a chance to call in, don't get a chance to talk to us. So we ask them to submit questions that we can then answer on the air. This is our first time doing this segment, so bear with us if it's a little rough around the edges. These are some questions that came through Instagram. This is from a login named Fade2Red. How do I find cursed video game cartridges? How do I find cursed video game cartridges? I think if you go to that area of the thrift store where they have DVDs and VHS tapes, a lot of times you'll find some weird, very dirty N64 cartridges, and I suggest you start there and work your way out. So that is Fade to Red. Thank you. And of course, we have a question from Connor Lee Hansen. Sexiest game, Alan. This sounds like it's much more up your alley. Sexiest game.
Okay. Oh, what's the sexiest game? It'd be any game where you could just have sex. I guess like a sex.
Well, we don't talk about sex on the show. I think they're talking about more just like a general sexiness. A kind of you could be sexy without having sex, and that is something that they told us in high school, and I've carried that with me for a long time. And,
I agree with you, Robbie, but you got to admit there's nothing sexier
like
than having sex and seeing sex in a video
Racing
game.
is, I think, a sexy game. I think the curvature of those racing Beetle cars are just, it's sensual in a way that I think that we have forgotten.
Okay, I'm gonna vote for Duke
so
Nukem
Connor
3D,
Lee
where
Hansen,
that's the one where you can see the full
Beetle
nude
Adventure
women.
Racing. Check. What are your profound thoughts on the game Minecraft? I have no profound thoughts on the game Minecraft. Minecraft is a wonderful game of exploration and building and just finding ways to protect yourself from the darkness. As someone who I'm very afraid of the dark, I often want to build walls and sort of like towers so I can build. I like to be above the things that are dark. Does that make sense, Alan?
Yep.
So when you're looking down at it, and it's looking back up at you, it's like the old story. When you look into the pit also looks into you. I
don't know that story. Robbie, Gabbylicious434 asked, if you were an Animal Crossing animal, what kind of animal would you be?
Well, that seems like a loaded question, Alan, because honestly, if your Animal Crossing character is not one of the animals, but if you were going to be, I mean, I would be a cat. I just got to go with the cats. I think that's just the classic animal there. Animal Crossing.
I would also choose cat.
We both be cats in Animal Crossing. What's the name of your town, Alan?
Robbie Town.
So that Minecraft question was from Julia Has Crepitus. Check.
These names are weird. Yo-Yo Breeze says, do you prefer first person, third person, free camera, third person, fixed camera?
I prefer third person fixed camera. What the name on that again?
That was Yo-Gaio Breeze.
Yo-Gaio? Like the card game?
I don't know. Y-U-G-A-O Breeze.
Well, I prefer third person fixed camera. Alan, what about you?
I prefer third person fixed camera as well.
I don't feel like that's right, Alan. I think that you're kind of a free floating camera guy, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, no, I prefer third-person fixed camera.
All right, so what is the funniest video game? This is a funny question. What is the funniest video game? This is from Slow Down Some. Funniest video game. I think the game 13, the first-person, cel-shaded first-person shooter where if you cause a barrel to explode, the word boom comes up, and that always gives me a laugh. What about you, Alan?
Any kind of game where you play as like a comedian and you got to tell jokes to get points with the audience.
Alan, those games don't exist. Has a video game ever made you cry? I don't think a video game has made me cry. I've definitely felt a great deal of emotion playing Panzer Dragoon games or some of the more Ico or Shadow of the Colossus style games. We're talking about a full tier. Has that happened to you?
The only time I ever cried playing a video game, I never actually played the video game, but it was just kind of about a video game. It was about a video game.
Like Wizard?
No, it was one of the Mortal Kombat games. I didn't play it, but I pretended to play. I play acted it, and it made me cry.
Was it Mortal Kombat?
It was
Armageddon. The Wii version.
It was
with the motion controls. Because you can do that.
Nacho Cheese asks.
You can use those motion controls, Alan. You can pull off kind of like they were. You could wiggle them around. You could pull off fatalities. It's a lot of fun. No tears necessary.
Yeah, I don't remember actually which game it was, but it did make me tear up. Nacho Cheese asks, is Marcel going to be a quest for Spawn and Shadowhawk in the game you made up? Can Marcel be a
Yes.
quest where you help him find the priest? Sincerely, Nacho Cheese. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Both of the answers for both of those is yes.
Okay.
This is from 29 Mao Soul _ Soul 29. So 29 Mao, as in the leader, Mao. Don't know what that's about. Soul 29. It's not a question. It's just the words a Hollow Knight. What do you think of that, Alan? You played Hollow Knight?
I didn't play it. I don't. So the question
Hollow
doesn't
Knight
make sense
6
to me.
Silk Song is coming out. Maybe we'll learn more about that at the Tokyo Game Show 2019.
Okay.
Thank you for your question or your statements. Alan, what do you got?
One more question. This is from Joe from England. He writes, "Hi, Robbie," and then in parentheses says, "and Alan," so that's about me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like characters with eye patches? Who is your favorite? Have you ever considered getting an eye patch? Thanks, Joe from England.
Oh, well, favorite character with eye patch? I got to go with Big Boss.
Me too.
From
Me too.
Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Big Boss too because I got to
Which
wear. I got to
Metal
wear
Gear?
the one that
multiple.
the one in the tuxedo where I got to wear the eye patch from EGI.
Big Boss.
Big Boss.
You're the Big Boss, Alan, and I thank you for reading the letters. These we'll get back to more of these letters later, but we do have to move on to get us some more coverage of the Tokyo Game Show 2019. Tonight we are going to talk about a new game, of course. A new game is Gears of War 5. So let's talk about a newer game that has a lot of buzz around it. It's Gears of War 5, which will be released on September 10th to a public that has been searching for an excuse to return to the war-torn planet Serra and fire machine guns and do the chainsaw to the head business that the Gears of War series is known for. This is a third-person action-adventure game, a brand-new game for the ages. As far as I can tell, nothing is wrong with it. It gets the official EGI seal of approval. I hope Gears of War fans enjoy it as much as they enjoyed Gears of War 1, 2, 3, Gears of War Judgment, and Gears of War 4. Alan, how excited are you for the return of the Gears of War series?
Yay!
I'm sure there's going to be some haters out there. But,
yeah, I don't know any. I've never played Gears of War, but any kind of war game or gun game where you cut people with a gun that's also sort of a chainsaw. It sounds fun, and it looks gross and cool and crazy and violent.
It looks gross and it looks cool. It's the Gears of War games have always been pushing the envelope of how many things you can shoot with the gun in the time that you're given. Life, of course, is a lot like that, I think, except for the fact that in life, it's about how many checks you can write for your taxes. You got your gas bill because they don't let you use the credit card payment that the power company does. What's up with that?
I don't know, but any new game that I get to play is a blessing, and I'm just happy to be playing new games. I love new games. I'm going to be playing
Gears of War 5 preloaded, of course. What? You can't wait to get Gears of War 5 going.
Yeah. Yes, I'll probably play it on every console that I have that it comes out on.
It's only on two consoles, of course, the Xbox One and the PC. So
I'll be playing that on PC.
You will be playing it on PC. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate kind of situation going on over there, Alan?
I don't know what that. I don't have an Xbox, so I don't have any sort of a Game Pass. Is that something for PC also? Maybe I'm misunderstanding the question.
Well, we'll get back to that in a minute, Alan. I think these Gears of War games, if there's one thing I would like to change about them, is I think they should have more vehicle levels. Vehicle levels in Gears of War games, there's nothing better to break up the utter monotony of a third-person shooter with chest-high walls than a good vehicle level. Alan, let me tell me about a vehicle level. What are those about? What's going on there?
A vehicle level is just a very fun level where you get to play as the car and vroom vroom around a city or a town. Maybe you'd be in the desert and you just kick up dust and go around turns too quick.
Go around turns too quick. You've got probably a different control scheme than what you normally use on the ground there.
Yes, normally you walk on two legs, but this time you're a car with wheels and you drive around just like a normal car. It's like a racing game, but maybe sometimes it's part of a walking game.
Well, if you think about the first Gears of War game, Alan, and you got to correct me if I'm wrong because you're the Gears of War expert here, but you drove in that one elevated highway. You shot the light at the bats. Remember the crazy swarms of bats, and they burned up with the UV light. that was on top of your what do you call that? It's not.
Car.
It's not a truck. It's not a train. It's
a car.
It's smaller, but it's not a motorcycle.
I'll take your word for it. You're the Gears of War expert, Robby, so back to you. But I do love vehicle levels. Anytime where you can escape the body and not be a human and feel the pain of being a human, you can be car vroom, vroom. You could be a car, and sometimes the car can shoot gun.
All right, Alan. Back to you and back to the studio. I feel like we're kind of running out of time here, but I really want to talk about if we're going to be talking about these Gears of War games. I feel like we can't actually get very far into that because if we're talking about Gears of War, we're not. Why aren't we talking about Dark Sector for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC? Dark Sector is, of course, it started life as a kind of spaceship stealth game with an amazing lighting system that was shown off in a closely watched 2004 kind of proof of concept demo reel for the Xbox 360. I do think that we have a clip of the reel. Alan, pay attention to this because this is going to be pretty informative. Can we play the reel? So this is Dark Sector 2004, a clip from the demo reel. You can see the beautiful lighting system here. This is 2004, so the only game that looked even close to this was Doom 3. He's shining his light down that. He's looking for the Dark Sector guy.
Robby, I don't know what this is, but
this is Dark Sector. This is 2004, and there he goes.
I can't. What is happening in this?
You can't think. This was the precursor to Gears of War.
Okay, look, you know what, Robby? I will watch anything you want to show me. So I am gonna just keep watching.
Whoa!
It's
Wait,
very
calm down
dark.
there for a second, Alan. That he was half man, half machine. What do you think about that?
I can't.
Unbelievable.
I can't really
outer
believe
space
it.
is truly the final frontier.
Yeah. What was that? Was that a machine or a man?
That was both. And here comes a whole stormtrooper kind of brigade, a sort of battalion or a squad. I'm not sure.
Those are just regular men.
Wild game.
Okay, what the
It's
hell
got
is
all
that?
these crazy
Wow.
lighting effects, and it wasn't the game that came out, but that was the game that they showed at 2004 E3. And here we are 16 years later, and we are talking about it once more. So people wishing that they could experience that classic 6 or 7 out of 10 Dark Sector experience can probably get a little bit of a thrill from watching that demo that we just showed, or maybe playing Warframe for like 50 hours. A game that I don't understand. No one really seems to understand Warframe, but it's free to play, and it was developed by Digital Extremes, the same people that brought us Dark Sector. So, Alan, what'd you think of that? Let's go to the phones and see what people are saying about Dark Sector.
I'm just glad I got to see it. I don't know. It was really weird.
What was weird about it to you?
The man was his body seemed to be a machine, but his face was human, and then it was very dark and scary, and I didn't understand. Right, so that I think is what probably threw me off and made me confused.
Here's what I want to know: is that when the guy shot and he flew up against the wall of the spaceship, and the sparks came out, it did seem like there was some liquid too.
Yes, video games are a very confusing art form.
So is it a man or is it a machine? It's the kind of question that we'll keep asking ourselves over and over. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. We're talking about how do you tell if someone's real or not?
Well, to tell if someone's real, like they're not a video game.
So in Dark Sector, you saw the character get snuck up on, got shot, flew into the wall. The blood and the sparks came out. So was he a real person or was he a robot?
I think he was maybe a combination of both, maybe like a cyborg or some kind of android of some sort.
Android.
I've never played the game personally.
Alan, what do you think about that? You've got an Android operating system on your phone.
No,
so,
I have an
is that the
iPhone.
same
I have
thing
an
as
iPhone
when
X.
we're talking about Dark Sector?
I don't really know, and I don't even know how to begin to address that question because the video was so weird and not normal. I couldn't understand it.
Is there too much? Was it too violent? Should I not have shown that?
No, that wasn't the issue.
I mean,
it's late in the day. People are exhausted. You want to get home from a long day at work. You want to see something like that?
No. most certainly not.
Well, I apologize. I get so worked up just thinking about the Gears of War 5 and Dark Sector and Digital Extremes. You get ahead of yourself. You get an idea. Hey, let's show the trailer from 2004 demo of Dark Sector. I wanted people to know because the game that came out looked nothing like that.
Robby, the weapon looks like a swastika, and I think you should take that down.
Hi, I'm a big fan of Dark Sector.
Dark Sector fan on the line, Alan. It's a real thing. Yeah. It's a real game that came out. People played it. People love it.
Yep, it's real. I love it. I have it for Xbox. My name's Todd McFarlane. I'm the creator of Spawn. I just want to say that there are always going to be bats following you, and that you have to go and acknowledge those bats. That you are a monster. You're a man living in the world of a child, and you have to accept it. Move on.
Well, thanks for your call,
I love it,
Todd.
And I made Spawn. Bye.
We're so happy to have the creator of
Spawn.
Todd McFarlane. Spawn. It's not really there, but it's a nice thought that Todd McFarlane might call into the show someday and say something nice about it. Don't you think so, Alan?
Yeah.
Hi, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. We are talking about Dark Sector. Apparently, I should not have shown the Dark Sector trailer. Everyone seems a little bit bummed out about it. So, we make mistakes, but we do try to just address those mistakes and move on.
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. You might want to turn down your computer volume there, bud.
Sorry, I didn't turn down my bullshit. Sorry about that.
Hey, how are you?
I wanted to say, I'm good. I just wanted to call in and say you looked wonderful today. You look an extra cute.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I agree. I got to agree. Robby is looking
costume
extra cute.
This time. Alan's also wearing a different costume. He's, the costume is complete, and it's just got one more thing on it that makes it more than complete, but somehow less. So thank you for your call. We've got one more time for one more call here. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information.
Make mistakes, but we do try to just address those mistakes and move on. Hello? Hi, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information.
Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information? Thank you for your call. Well, they really wanted me to... we got another caller on the line, Alan?
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information?
No, Robby, this is just me.
It's Alan?
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
I'm not Alan.
I'm
not Alan.
It's not Alan. It's Robby, but it is also Alan, and also
you're Robby.
You're on the air with us, and what's on your mind?
Dark Sector is weird. I agree with Alan very much.
What's so weird? I mean, here's the thing: is that we did see the demo of the 2004 demo of Dark Sector, but the game that came out several years later, it is a strange game, isn't it?
Yes. I don't know anything about Dark Sector, but I just want to say thank you for showing that because I like weird things.
All right. Well, that was what a wonderful observation. And let me tell you something. Are you interested at all in Eastern European architecture?
I don't understand architecture.
You don't need to understand it. If there's something about it, if you think about it, if it's in your mind, if it's something that you're just like, gosh, I wonder what it would be like to take a stroll through one of these post-Soviet Eastern European towns, then the 2004 Dark Sector demo, just take that out of your mind. It doesn't exist. That game never came out. But the game that did come out, this Dark Sector that we have up here, explores those kinds of environments very, very thoroughly. I'll say a lot of crumbling Soviet-era infrastructure. So if you're into that kind of thing, Dark Sector might be the kind of game for you. Otherwise, maybe Warblade. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Well, they really wanted me to talk about a newer game, and I did. So we talked about Gears of War 5, which is coming to Xbox One and PC. If you have an Xbox Game Pass, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can download it now, play it now. That's how it works. It's Gears of War 5. You probably know exactly what kind of game it is. We'll be right back. just in time for the list. Of course, you can call in during the list. We'll be taking your calls. We'll be looking for your questions and comments about the list. We have a very special list tonight because one of the games that is coming out that I am most excited about this year is Daemon X Machina for the Nintendo Switch. And I thought, what better way to look back at the developer of Daemon X Machina, his previous work with the Armored Core series. So these are a list of all the Armored Core games. There are a lot more than you probably realized. So let's just dive right into the list. The first Armored Core game for the PlayStation is Armored Core. Armored Core was, of course, a kind of arena combat game where you had these smaller levels, but you had a big robot that could be customized. You could change its arms and legs, and you could what kind of weapons it had. You could go back and change the arms and the legs as many times as you want. Alan?
I don't. Yeah, I
These
just
are
love
the
the
Armored
list.
Core games, the robot action games. Alan, it's the list. We're talking about Armored Cores.
Yay, Armored Core, and it's on the list.
It's
Back
on the
to you,
list,
Robbie,
and
Armored Core.
right after Armored Core is Armored Core Project Phantasma. It's like they took all of the ideas that they weren't able to fit into Armored Core and fit it into Armored Core Project Phantasma, which, of course, they did not have enough ideas to make a fully new Armored Core game, so they just made it Armored Core Project Phantasma. So that's on the list. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. We are talking about Armored Core games. Armored Core. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, have you played in the Armored Core games? Have you enjoyed the thrill of upgrading your arms and your legs and switching out your machine guns and your missile launchers? Maybe you have one of those big mech-sized shotguns.
Yeah, I mean, I love switching my body around. Yeah.
So if you were just picture yourself, you got to, because the way these games work isn't just if you're just, you got to take these ideas that the game is trying to present to you, and you got to kind of move somewhere else with it, because it doesn't give you a lot of story to go on. It just gives you the basic mechanics of the game, which is that you are a giant robot, you're on a mission, you have to shoot up some other smaller robots, and maybe a bigger robot comes in at the end there and hands you a tough time.
Well, it sounds like Transformers to me.
Well, it's not Transformers. That's an insane thing to say, because Transformers, of course, are Transformers that robots that turn into vehicles. They also have there's a very weird kind of class issues that are sort of underneath all of that, between the Decepticons and the Autobots, and of course all the different sort of individual characters that you deal with all represent different. I don't have time to get into it, but those aren't games that you customize at the same level you do with the Armored Core games.
All right. Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can ask a question.
Could I ask Alan to ask you, to fill us in on what happened since the play?
Well, you can ask me to ask Alan if that's okay, but
I don't want to talk about that.
I
just want to talk about the ladder from Death Stranding again, because that was fun.
It was different than what we wanted, but it was a valuable experience. Much like the Armored Core games, we take the parts that we like and we keep them, and we move and we change the parts that we don't. I
have one more question.
All right.
How can you die in Gloomsbrook?
How can you die in Gloomsbrook?
Yeah.
You run out of hit points.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Well, thank you for your call. It's Tokyo Game Show 2019. We're talking about Armored Core games. We've got Armored Core.
And it's on the list.
Phantasma is on the list. Now, next up on the list, Alan, I'm gonna let you reveal this one.
Okay. I don't really quite understand how the list works. Is someone just typing that, or is that its own thing? What is the list?
It's Armored Core Master of Arena, Alan, and we're talking about all these wonderful playgrounds that you get to experiment with all the different Armored Core robots with all the different parts. You got your legs, you got your arms, and missiles and machine guns and shotguns, and maybe you just want to worry less about you're on these different missions, and maybe you just want to get into the arena and make a big mess.
It does sound like Transformers.
All right, so let's go to the phones. We got a caller on the air. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. We are talking about Armored Core.
Hello, yeah.
Master of Arena. Are you the master of the arena?
Am I the master of Arena?
I know you're not. What's on your mind?
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to say that the Armored Core games were a game that my father had on the Xbox.
Robbie, he knows about Armored
many
Core.
years ago.
Armored Core on the
Robbie,
Xbox many years
Armored
ago,
Core.
Alan. We haven't quite gotten to the Xbox iterations of the Armored Core universe yet. We've only gotten to... We're only 3 deep. These are all PlayStation 1 Armored Core games. But I'm sure as a boy watching your father play the Armored Core games, and
how many Armored
switching
Core
out the
games are on
arms
this
and the
list?
legs and maybe a little bit the hips to get more of a lift when the mechs have to jump up in the air and fire down the missiles, just like those old Robotech cartoons, don't you think?
Yes, it was. I do remember, but I could not figure out how to jump up. I think there was. I could go fast very quickly with a boost, but that's all I could figure out how to do in the game. I could not figure out how to jump.
You go fast with the boost to the front. You go fast to the boost to the sides. And what it's called? What was that called?
I don't know. I think it was just called the boost.
No, it's strafing.
Oh well. I don't remember. I was a young child when I played the game.
Well, what a wonderful memory to share with your old dad. We have Armored Core. Thank you for your call. Armored Core Master Arena's on the list.
Robbie,
we are up to Armored Core 2 for the PlayStation 2. Famously, Armored Core 2 is, of course, the game with the blue Armored Core mech on the cover. The first Armored Core game to come out on the PlayStation 2. Alan, what do you got?
What if we played an Armored Core game? Like I could come over and we could play Armored Core.
Well, I don't have anything that runs the Armored Core games anymore. These are mostly old games. That's why I'm so excited about Daemon X Machina, which I don't think that we'll be able to play together.
Why?
Alan, I'm sorry to say that.
Why?
Well, I think because you and I just have different schedules. There are some cooperative modes for Daemon X Machina, but obviously I like to play games at the time of day that you don't. And I also it's not. I don't think it's your kind of game, Alan. It's a lot of tweaking. It's a lot of unnecessary kind of customization.
I just like stuff that you like, and I just want to
try playing. Alan, you can come over any old time, and we can hang out. Daemon X Machina might be my kind of thing, and you can have your kind of thing. So we have our thing. We keep. Some of us have private lives. Okay. So I tell you, if it's okay, and then it's okay. Right?
It sounds good. I can't wait.
All right. Well, thank you for your call, Alan. And we will be back tomorrow night with more games on the list.
That was the list.
Yes, I know, Alan. Can't stop thinking about that Robotech game that was supposed to come out on the Nintendo 64. I think it was called Crystal Dreams. They said that you could fly over one of those capital ships in the Earth fleet, and it would take you an hour to get from one end to the other. Can you imagine playing a game with spaceships that big? In 1997 to 2001 era? Unbelievable. What a revolutionary idea. What a crystal dream. And that was Electronic Game Information's first episode of Tokyo Game Show 2019 coverage. We will be back same time, same place next week with more news and updates from the Tokyo Game Show as we come closer and closer to the opening of that very, very important gaming event. Of course, you can send us in art and questions.